You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today we have our first host call of the weekend. We've got two big questions on the front end right now and the back end, which we're going to be going about over all sorts of things like detoxification, like hormone balance, all that. And we've got some 3 rapid fire questions right in the middle, which will be really fast and short to answer. So I'm looking forward to these questions today. They're very thoughtful, well written, and so we're going to get right into them. So Bonnie is up first. Am I correct in saying Bonnie's up first? I am incorrect in saying Bonnie's up first. We'll get to Bonnie in a moment. So Kate writes in. Kate is asking, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've been working with a naturopath for several years." Naturopath always gets confused with naturopath. It's all the same to me. It's just semantics. "For several years to restore hormone balance." And Kate's only 32 years old, but she has severe estrogen dominance. That means her estrogen is much above her progesterone. She said, "We have tried so many things like healing adrenals, boosting thyroid, anti-inflammatory plant-based diet, etc., but my progesterone is still very low. Do you recommend bioidentical hormone replacement therapy? My doc wants to put me on it for a few days on days 11 to 28 of my cycle and see if she can jumpstart production. There's a lot of conflicting info when it comes to bioidentical hormones. And what are your thoughts?" Okay, so I get this question all the time, literally multiple times per week. So I thought we would answer it right now on our host call. So here's the thing. I never will use estrogen, and I shouldn't say never, but maybe there's a case, but I wouldn't use estrogen, and I don't give testosterone for men. What I would do in some cases, and again, only after exhausting, was look at progesterone, giving that as a natural hormone, and DHEA. You get a lot of benefit from both of those, but that's very, very rare. So here's the thing. When someone has estrogen dominance, now Kate, I don't have your labs in front of me, so I can't actually see if you have high levels of estrogen or it's just that you have really low levels of progesterone, which is why your estrogen looks high. Because there's 2 different people. There are actually women with high estrogen. And then there's just like the majority of the women, 9 out of 10, who have normal estrogen, but they just have really low progesterone. I've explained this before in the past, but it's very, very important. When people, men and women, are stressed and the hormones are not balanced, what happens is progesterone gets sacrificed to become cortisol. So it's called the pregnenolone steal or progesterone steal or cortisol steal, however you want to look at it. But basically, the body will give preferential treatment to cortisol because it is a life-saving hormone that will keep you alive. It's also great as an anti-inflammatory. Little known, but it also helps balance Th1 and Th2 immunity, which is why people who suffer from Th2 imbalance, meaning there's a big push to that Th2, allergies and asthma and those like chronic issues like yeast and all that, their Th2 branch of the immune system is just weak, and giving them a boost in those adrenals helps tremendously. So without making this entire episode just about the HPA axis and adrenals and all that, you want to make sure that you do a saliva-based test. We have what's called a hormone and adrenal test, and you want to make sure that your cortisol levels are actually good. If they are good and your DHEA is good, meaning your DHEA is balanced, because you might want to start there, DHEA, small amount, 5 to 10 milligrams a day, first thing in the morning, to give those adrenals a little bit of boost. If it does that and your thyroid looks good, which it seems to be, then you probably don't need that progesterone. And again, we're looking at a ratio, right? Now, there's so much we could go into. One more thing that you need to look at, because no one's looking at this, is that plastics are an environmental estrogen. If you're using plastic wrap at home, if you're using plastic bottles, if you're washing plastic in your dishwasher, if you're drinking from anything that has plastic that's been heated or transported, all of these things disrupt estrogen, and progesterone, meaning they will add additional estrogen in the body. Same with weight gain and inflammation. That increases estrogen as well. So I'm looking at environmental estrogens. Too many people don't do a full detox first before thinking about going on something like a hormone. So my advice is if you haven't done a 21-day detox, do that. Absolutely do that. And also, you'll want to really make sure that you're not constipated, because a lot of women are constipated and they don't know that you're supposed to have 1 to 2 bowel movements per day. So if you're not, that means the estrogen is being reabsorbed. Estrogen metabolites are being reabsorbed back in your body. That's an issue as well. Remember, hardly any of the time do you need to take progesterone supplement. In rare cases, you do. Now, if you do, then this is when you're going to want to think about maybe a 3 cycle. So, 3 of your cycles, about 3 months worth. I don't use it starting on day 11. I do it more like starting days 14 and 15. When I start to see that ramp back up in estrogen. Now, remember, you should test your own body on day 21 of your cycle, meaning with a saliva hormone test. And that will let you know how low. Now, of course, you've done this because you're working with a naturopath or a functional medicine doctor. And then I ramp it up. So basically, a little bit more each day until I reach day 21, day 22. That's the peak of your progesterone. And then I bring it back down slowly and then stop on day 28 so that you get your period, first day menstruation, and then you stop again. You let estrogen start to climb for those first, it peaks around day 12 or so, and then it's going to start coming back down, and then you ramp back up with the progesterone. What the progesterone does is, more than anything, it also gives your cortisol or gives your adrenal glands more of what they need. So sometimes it is kind of nice to, again, if you don't have high estrogen, you might be able to use a little bit of DHEA to balance the other side of the pathway. Feel free to share this if you have a great naturopath and you want to share this with them. Then maybe they could just, pull out a few tidbits. And I'm not saying that they don't already know what they're doing, but it's just my background is just diverse. So as a naturopathic doctor, I studied Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, orthomolecular medicine, and I had some great mentors in functional medicine as well. Okay, that was a long answer. So, but this means there's just so many women out there. I mean, at least 1 to 2 people a week that I see or speak with over the phone that have this issue. So Kate, I know that's going to help you. So check it out. One way or another, you'll get your answer. All right. Rachna is up next. And he wrote, "Good morning. I'm interested in having the weight loss test done. However, can you confirm if this test can be done for someone that lives in Canada?" Okay. So my team put this question up for me, and that is because we ship literally all over the world, mainly to the UK and Canada for our products online. Unfortunately, we're not able to ship to a lot of other places, but the UK and Canada we can, and we ship everything there. So no matter what, yes, we ship to you in Canada, whether it's the Dr. Cabral Detox, our products, or any of the lab tests. So the weight loss test is the big one. It's a phenomenal test. You will never regret running that test because it gives you so much data. Vitamin D, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, cortisol, thyroid, fasting insulin. What else? Hemoglobin A1C, just right off the top of my head. So it's an amazing test. We have so many people run that. Absolutely worth it, without a doubt. Okay, Chelsea's up next. Chelsea's asking, I have a CT scan. What are some things I can do to help offset the radiation in my system? So we'll talk about that in a moment. Are there any detox products you can recommend or any major uptick in certain foods? Will spending extra time doing grounding work help? What about an Epsom soak or infrared sauna? Thank you so much for taking the time to answer my question, and thank you for your podcast. I appreciate the information you share. Chelsea, it's my pleasure, and I can absolutely give you a little bit of background on this in the CT scan. Okay, so a CT scan stands for computerized tomography. And the important thing to remember about this is that it is so much more powerful than a normal X-ray. So people say it's anywhere from 30 times the amount of radiation from an X-ray to up to 400 times. So think about getting like 30 X-rays, right, all at once, or maybe 400, again, depending on whose statistic you are using. But I can tell you this, that much radiation has been shown to increase risk of cancer. Now, this is not to scare you, Chelsea, by any means. I've had many CT scans done myself when they couldn't figure out what was going wrong with me many, many years ago when I had headaches and I had migraines and I had all sorts of stuff. So Not great, but however, remember, cancer is 95% diet and environment. So you can cut back on all these things and you can start to detox all of that radiation. So you mentioned some great things. Grounding will absolutely work. Epsom soaks will absolutely work. Epsom soaks are Epsom salt baths. You just do 2 cups to 4 cups of Epsom salt. You put it in a hot bathtub and you hang out for 20 minutes. It's that easy. The magnesium and the sulfur will help with detoxification, both phase 1 and phase 2, mainly phase 2, which is where people are lacking that sulfur-based amino acids. So an infrared sauna, fantastic. Yes, an infrared sauna will work great. The far infrared saunas near all of those will also be lower on the EMF, which is nice as well. We have one at our wellness center in Boston. It's fantastic. It's been shown now over and over in studies in Japan and the US and Germany to work even way better than a regular dry sauna. So really important to do that. Now, but here's the other thing. Let's say about 2 weeks before, you're going to want to add extra vitamin C. So just plain old good vitamin C, and you're going to want to get anywhere from 2 to 3 grams per day. Okay, that's what I would do. Now, if you make your stool loose, well, you've met bowel tolerance. That's actually a good thing. That means that, believe it or not, your stores are pretty good. So let's do the vitamin C. Very, very simple. And you'll also want to increase any of your sulfur-based amino acids as well. So first of all, let's make sure you're taking a good multi, like the all-in-one that we offer or the activated multivitamin. That's going to give you everything you need in terms of your B vitamins. It's going to give you a little bit of vitamin C, vitamin D. So it's going to give you the things that your body already needs anyways to work on liver conjugation, which is basically taking phase 1 and phase 2 liver-based production. So basically, phase 1, you're taking a fat-soluble molecule, and then you're making it a water-soluble molecule in phase 2. That allows you to pee it out, poop it out, or sweat it out as it comes through the kidneys or through the sweat glands as well, through your pores. So what would those be? Well, it would be N-acetylcysteine, it would be glycine, or it would be glutamine. And all of those help tremendously. Now, you can try to find reduced glutathione. That works great too. Glutathione is something that I would absolutely do. In our Dr. Cabral Detox, of course, we have glutathione. It's literally based on the best research. If there's ever better research, of course, I'm going to formulate it even better. But right now, this works. It works tremendously well. So if you could do a 21-day detox, all using the detox foods that we include with that as well, after your CT scan, that would be my highest recommendation with extra vitamin C. So hopefully that works. And hopefully I was able to provide you with a little information. And you know what? You're having a CT scan, so I don't know what it's for, but I wish you all the best and hope that you're well. Caroline is up next. So there is no question. She's saying, no question today, but I love the new intro music. So my team put this up there. We all love the new intro music. I love the new intro music. So if you just started tuning in now, check out any episodes before, let's just see what the date was, before episode 333. That was our 2016 shows, and we had a different intro, not for the Cabral House Calls on the weekend. We're still trying to find new intro music for that. I'm very picky about changing and changing my ways. But yes, the new intro music is one of my favorites. All right, there are still more questions to go. Okay, this is one of our rapid fire ones. Laura's asking, hi, do you work with patients out of state by phone? This is a simple answer. The answer is yes. So I work every single week, probably about 25% and growing of all of my consultations and all of my follow-ups are by phone, by Skype. And you can just do phone, that's fine. I like Skype because I get to see the person. I get to make a little bit more of a connection, and I can do a little bit of facial diagnosis. I can look at their nails. I can do all of those specific things. Very important. And of course, if they have psoriasis, eczema, they can kind of show me the patches they might have on their elbows or anything like that. So yes, we do that all the time. We do it internationally. I work with people in the Middle East, in Israel, and I've worked with people in Iceland, in the UK, and Canada. Where else? Portugal, the Azores, Australia, all the time. So the simple answer is absolutely. There's an application process. You can always just, email us. We're happy to take care of that. I believe, I actually don't even know because I don't handle any of this. The great part about my job is that I have an amazing team. And so they kind of handle all this for me, and it allows me to just kind of stay focused on helping people, whether it's writing books, whether it is doing this podcast or seeing people in person. I have no idea where the application is, but you know what? I will find it. My team will find it, and they will put it up on this show notes. And this is episode 343. So just stephencabral.com, 343. Okay, /343. Now, the last question of the day is our bigger question. Bonnie writes in, one last thing, Laura, is that we are booking, I believe, 4+ weeks out. So it's not, unless we get a cancellation or something, I'm not typically able to talk like that next week. So I always advise people, if you're thinking about it, we're just booking a little bit out. That's all. So Bonnie's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Can you please talk about the iodine supplementation if it is necessary? I have used sea salt for years and it does not contain iodine. I have read about the need for iodine supplementation in the absence of iodized salt. But the more I read, the more I'm confused about how much to take or even if I need it. Details about me if needed. I'm 38, so she talks a little bit about her overall body. She has some hair loss. She's 38. There's some loss of libido, some mood, some energy-based issues. Her annual blood work shows that her thyroid is well within normal range, and her TSH is 0.6. Now, for TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, I look for 0.5, between 0.5 and 2. And the reason that's important is because the ideal range on a regular blood lab is 0.5 to 5. 5 is absurd. So you already have low thyroid, hypothyroid, when you're up past 2.5, 3. So at 0.6, let me finish the rest of the question. So she's been doing well with her nutrition. She says, I'm currently on day 4 of your 7-day detox and just purchased the daily nutritional support shake, ingredients powder for afterwards to maintain. Thank you for your podcast. I've really enjoyed them. Okay. So Bonnie, you, as of right now, do not need the iodine for your thyroid in order for your thyroid to function properly. So basically, when you look at your thyroid, it needs iodine, it needs selenium, in smaller amounts, it needs zinc and copper, and in other portions as well, we might say it needs some tyrosine as well. So I don't recommend supplementing with iodine unless you're someone who swims in like a chlorinated pool, which is going to deplete your iodine faster. What I actually recommend, so I shouldn't say this, not that I don't recommend supplementing with iodine, it's just you don't need high level dosage of iodine, in my opinion, because I see no issues with your thyroid. If anything, your thyroid seems to be doing pretty well. Okay, let me talk about it from a little different perspective as well. The great way that everyone can get natural iodine in their body is by eating some form of sea vegetables, okay? So this is what I say first, is if you don't like sea vegetables like nori, which is one of my favorites, N-O-R-I, nori crinkles, you can just add to a salad or to a meal. It's basically crunchy seaweed. It gives a great texture to it. The other great thing is sushi. You know, that black roll that they wrap it up in? Well, that's going to have that natural iodine in it as well. So, well, here's the thing too. Bonnie, I'm just trying to make this simple. The daily nutritional support and the daily activated multi will already have iodine in it. And it's enough. It's not a high dosage, meaning like I'm not afraid to give people an additional dosage of potassium iodine, or a lot of times I use kelp capsules. And you can absolutely start with 2 to 3 kelp capsules each day at breakfast or dinner. Nothing wrong with that to get extra iodine in there. Iodine is amazing for the thyroid, but it's also amazing just overall as a detoxifier. So I have no problem with that, but you will already be taken care of when you use our daily activated multivitamin or our daily nutritional support shake, which is the same exact one I use, and it's the one that's recommended to maintain with after you come off of your 7-day detox that you're doing right now. You're doing the right thing. You really are. Remember, nutritional supplements are only to be used if your body needs it. So meaning like everyone needs to get covered with a daily, in my opinion, a daily greens and a daily multivitamin, which is basically all-in-one shake, or a regular multivitamin. And then maybe you could think about a probiotic, which is, that's my whole protocol, right? That's what I do for myself. Then in greater times of stress or not enough sleep, whatever might be going on, I might add some B complex. I might add things like ashwagandha. If I'm feeling a little bit more inflammation from a workout or something like that, maybe I'll add, other things that are naturally anti-inflammatories. If I'm feeling a little bit of, during allergy season, I might do extra vitamin C or extra things like quercetin or nettles. Remember, but I'm doing it only to keep my body balanced. So in my opinion, and this goes for everyone, if you don't need higher dosages of it, you're not going to do it. But, at the same time, I can also say is you could test your iodine levels, and that will absolutely give you concrete evidence of how your iodine levels are. We have a great thyroid test that actually looks at your iodine levels, so you can check that out as well. But for right now, it looks like you had a great iodine test done by your physician. And I would say is you're going to get enough for right now in your multivitamin or the daily support shake, which is exactly what I do as well. So great questions today. Appreciated every single one of them, and look forward to being back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.